Welcome back to Let's Play Penumbra Overture. So, I learned a new trick. Apparently some of the recording glitches that had been forcing me to use some workarounds, such as display capture, may or may not go away when I disable arrow theme on my desktop. Never thought to try that. Did not think that would make a difference, but assuming it's not a fluke and that it's just working this one time, disabling arrow seems to have done the trick, and now I can play it at with a better capture method going. Also, found out that behind here thing. Also, what is, I get that it's a mine and all, but are we employing tiny miners that dig tiny tunnels? Why are there tiny tunnels? Tunnel that loops back on itself? Interesting. Now I want to explore all the tunnel. Why there be so many tunnel? Well, it loops back right to where I started. What the? Oh, I see. I see. The entire tunnel loops back in on itself. Okay, who are we paying to mine these, to dig these tunnels? Why are they digging strange tunnels? There's a hole in the... Ah! Wait a second. Hole in the center. Can I jam a rod in it? Yes! Also, barrel for blocking doors. I don't want to go down there no more. Can I just leave? Well, no, there's a blizzard going on out there. And not the good kind of blizzard that makes games. Somebody obviously wanted to keep something out or in. Judging by that sound, I'm voting that it's in, and that I should not go in here. Logic tells me not to open this. But logic also tells me I will starve if I don't, because there's no food up here. There's a blizzard outside that does not likely appear to be going away anytime soon. The fact that I can close this and open this, it's those little details that really are really nice. One thing that always bugged me in a lot of adventure games, once you flip the switch, there's no unflipping it. For things that you rightly should be able to, like doors. Whatever I was descending into, it was 100 feet below ground, protected by 2 solid metal hatches, located in a remote Arctic wilderness and buried beneath the snow. Overkill much. Go away. Sorry. A program that, Penumbra has an odd quirk in its window mode, that if you try to move the window, it jumps off the screen behind the taskbar. Running the game in a large window gives me better frame rate than running it full screen, so I had to have a program to overwrite the window position that manually pushes it where I want it to go. It is called Shift Window. It is free. I find it useful. If you ever have a game that you like to run across the whole screen that insists on having its title bar visible, this program will fix that for you. I'll actually go ahead and put a link to that in the description just because, but back to the reading. I'd never given it much thought before. I didn't know what to expect, but it made me feel something I hadn't felt since I was a child. I'd never given it much thought before, but I realized that our entire society is a network of safety nets, emergency services at the end of a phone line, health and safety in the workplace, friends, family, lovers. All there if something goes wrong, part of a carefully designed structure to present all but the most mundane of emotions. Once again, I felt like I did when I was in school, surrounded by a closing ring of older friends, knowing anyone that might help me, friends, parents, teachers, were too scared or too far away. But, not entirely sure why that other program jumped to the front of the screen there. Penumbra, there we go. I have an issue right now where sometimes my games lose focus for no good reason. I usually don't have any. But I want to make noise. Anyone or anything hears me, it'd be best off staying low and out of sight until I know whether or not it's a threat. Crouching or pressing left control will give me the chance to hide in the shadows. I'll know I've got it right because of the blue tint to my vision. If your vision turns blue when you crouch, see a doctor. Plus, I'll be quiet enough that I won't be heard unless something's right on top of me. Better to remember to shut off any light sources, though. What if the said thing is blocked? What am I hiding from? There's nothing here. Are you just teaching me in general how to hide? I should get my night vision back. Oh, sir, you worry me. There's nothing down here. Don't be such a worrywart. And then I turn a corner and die, probably. That sounds about right. Notes. Which button was entrance to the cave? There must be another way out. Ah. Door! Ooh, I like this room. Light! I miss being outside already. This place is starting to get to me. But even if I could reach that grate, it looks built into the rock itself. No way it's coming loose. Also, there's the problem of there's a blizzard going... If there's a blizzard going on right outside there, wouldn't this room be very cold? Minor design flaw. Darn it, is everything locked in this world? Beef jerky. You know, I never did figure out what the beef jerky was for. I guess you could use it to distract things, throw meat at it. Painkillers. For those that have played Amnesia, also known as laudanum. Laudanum's actually a whole opiate, which was used as a painkiller, which is why I found it amusing that in the Amnesia game that they actually went with that as a historical thing while trying to remain true to the Penumbra games by making it a form of painkiller. A key. There's so much stuff I can pick up right here. Baxtrin. Not to be confused with Baxter Stockman. Copenhagen Post, Monday, 17th, August 1930. Psychotropic deposits at the bottom of the death mine? Ooh. Researchers at the University of Copenhagen have suggested that mind-altering chemicals naturally sewn into the rock may be the cause of high suicide rates at a Greenland mine that shut down the mine. This university, which recently has been conducting studies into isolated communities, first became interested in the workers of the northwestern lead mine. It's a lead mine, too. Lead mine last year. They discovered that even taking into account Greenland's naturally higher suicide rate, local figures for the last 100 years were abnormally high at 46 deaths per 100,000 populace, compared to the national average of 29. I'm sorry, but if 46 people out of 100,000 die every year, you're at a very sustainable population rate, because more than 46 people are going to be born per 100,000. I mean, it's sad that they're committing suicide, but that's not a huge impact into the population in terms of death versus birth rates. Moving on further investigation, experts diagnosed in many of the miners symptoms in common with the earlier stages of paranoid schizophrenia. This has prompted researchers to hypothesize that natural deposits of lysergic acid, APH4 formula recently discovered to have hallucinogenic properties, may be preserved in the rocks. Few locals were conducive to interview, but those who agreed to speak had their own explanation. Inuit spirits known as the Turngate live in the mountains. The university is awaiting the results of a chemical testing. Studies continue. Also, book. You're going to be listening to me read a lot, probably. 15th of August, 1945. Command Bunker, Emergency Airstrip Zulu. Weekly report. Another unremarkable week in Greenland. Regular supply shipment received. Standard emergency drills carried out. Routine runway maintenance completed. I have ordered maintenance to be carried out twice weekly from here on in due to increased snowfall. And 1 wounded. That's an unremarkable week. That's a lot, and you've got somebody wounded. The one wounded figure is no cause for concern back in London. The Germans haven't extended their front line by 4,000 miles. 2 of my men were caught manufacturing cherry bombs in our workshop armory and succeeded in blowing off a couple fingers. I take partial responsibility for this in that I allowed them access to the demolitions manual we keep in the storeroom, and I'm sure that's where they learned the ingredients. As a precautionary measure, I have now locked up that manual in the chest in my office and will keep the key on my person at all times. It was in a desk. Are you a desk? Needless to say, both men have been disciplined and the injured man has been sent home for medical care. I cannot help but think that a more suitable punishment would have been for him to stay out here, but the matter is out of my hands. The base is so disconnected sometimes I feel as if this war could end and we might not even hear about it out here. Supplies requisition order. Dynamite. 7 bayonets. Not necessary in my opinion, but procedure states we should have a full complement. 1 industrial ice pick for removing the ice that forms on the external hatch. Yeah, I had to use a rock to get in here. 1 pair of reading glasses, category 7C. In order for myself, my glasses are in a rather poor state of repair and could do with replacing. Reconditioning of the mine continues to progress. The structure is being fortified from potential bomb damage, and excavation of previously caved-in areas is going ahead. 1 point of curiosity is some kind of archaeological find, an artifact buried in the earth and discovered by one of the work teams. Later this evening, after marshal duty, I shall take a closer look. It appears to be man-made and may have working parts inside. I will remove what looks like the front cover and see if I can discover the source of the light which constantly emanates from it. Chief NCO M. Major. So, if I'm getting this correctly, this was originally a lead mine. The lead miners kept committing suicide and was under study. Assumedly, years later, military moved in to use it as a base during a war. Move chair. Pretty. A man, an old man, clutching something unseen. He is strange, and yet he is no stranger. Never seen before, still I know. This man before me is Howard. I call him Father. 2 notes about... Ugh, what just happened? I don't know if that was such a good idea. Interesting note about these objects. They serve a dual purpose. They are, first and foremost, save points. Which, yeah, is very useful for players. And secondly, they are an alien... Sorry, not alien. They are an unknown artifact. Alien meaning unknown in this case, not alien. They are an unknown artifact that was dug out of the ground, basically, and there's a lot of them scattered about. There is a story in that, but I will not spoil that. Ooh, demolitions manual, the big book of explosives. I'm not reading all of this. If you want to read it, you're welcome to pause at each of the page. I'm giving a few seconds on each to make it easier to target. If you are interested in any of these things, my recommendations, first and foremost, be safe, and secondly, use real research material, not that which you find in video games, because I cannot speak for the accuracy of this. I would assume that given the research put into these games, that there's some fair accuracy there, but there might be better ways to go about doing such. But I would not recommend you play with explosive materials unless you know what you're doing. Oh Lord. Please don't kill me. I'm innocent. Anything within my field of vision might panic me, and then I'm a goner. Does goner have 2 ends? Go away, Doge. There's no memes to be had here. Did Doge go away? Can I climb on the box? I'm safe on this box. Doge? Where'd you go, Doge? This is my defense barrel. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Go this way. I like that these, since they're you can't interact with them, are covered in a tarp, because that makes it somewhat believable that they're a cohesive object. Doge. Be a good Doge and stay over there. That's a map of the mine. Very useful, by the way. Explosives, that's behind the locked door. I just came from the office. The exit was my entrance. Storage is where I'm going. Sorry about the darkness. If the video comes out darker than I think it is, I will... Who's that? If the video comes out too dark, I will apply a gamma filter, but when I checked it earlier, it looked like it was coming out with a near match to my game. I mean, to my window, but I will be checking that. And also, it saves when you go through most doors as an autosave feature, so since we're at the 16-minute point, I'm going to go through this door, call this episode, and I will see you next time. As soon as it finishes loading. So that's going to jump in front of me every time, isn't it?